I am live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Growing Gratitude. I am Becca Lori Hector. I am your host, as always. Ooh, this feels a little high. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Welcome to it. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm so excited to see you guys here. I am. Just had the funniest situation happen here, which I'll share with you guys for a second before I get started. Right behind me, see all these pillows, right? They were all a mess like 2 seconds ago because, hey, Bernard, because my animals, and I'll give you a little, let's see if I can get away with this. Oh, there's Fiona. You can kind of see her. There she is. She's all stretched out and sleeping. Let me put us back now. um, so my animals come. I have this like set up here so that I can rest if I need to during the workday, but also so my animals can come hang out with me when I'm doing work and all of these things. And so behind me, these pillows never look this neat. This is like a just a rarity that for growing gratitude, I try to clean them up, because they're like right behind me, whatever. And today I couldn't do it because I had cats. I had cats sleeping on the pillows. And I was like, all right, well, I guess, hey, Burnett, I guess my pillows will be messy this week. And that was kind of what I was gonna roll with. But then she got all flustered and annoyed that I put the computer up and everything, and she left. But Fiona stayed. So she's here with us for growing gratitude this week. And we're going to talk about some fun, interesting things, I hope, this week. So let us get started, right? I hope that while the week went by, you guys had a good, wonderful one, and you took care of yourselves and maybe made your way over to my Patreon to check it out, because that's where I want to start my conversation with you guys today, because I had part of my Patreon set up, and part of the exclusive things that happen for people on Patreon is that I am writing a journal entry every week, which is I am not putting anywhere else except for on Patreon, which are just like my little thoughts towards the end of the week. It comes out on Fridays. And so I do this on Monday, and then on Friday I put out my thoughts from the week, right? And then we do it again on Monday. And so it's this nice little thing that I'm trying to do for myself and for everyone out there. Yes, Burnett, I saw you. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. I so appreciate it. And I can't wait till we grow our little community over there so we can, it's not just about me, so that it's about us. That's really what I'm looking to have over there. But in any case, I'm over there, wrote my little journal entry last week, and I thought, you know what? The thing that I'm journaling about, even though what I'm sharing about it is private for Patreon, the topic itself is something that I just wanted to kind of open up and talk about here on live stream, because I think it's something that we all kind of deal with in our own ways. But as somebody, oh, here she is, she's going to get more comfortable for us. So that, something that I deal with, that we all deal with in our own ways. And I think if you're somebody like me who is autistic, an adult, and maybe also struggles with some other mental health issues, it's something that um, I think we need to talk about, and something that I've been kind of thinking about. And so let's get into it. Let's not even chit chat around it anymore, because it was really an interesting thought. And so here's the basis of the journal entry. It was about hibernation versus isolation. Okay, so I want you to think for a second about what those two words mean for you: hibernation versus isolation. Right. So the thing is that for me here, every year as we go through this time of year, I find this time of year very difficult to transition with. Everyone is like really lazy during December, and all they focus on is their family. And it's all this focus on, spending time and taking care of ourselves. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I hope to see you there on Patreon. And we're focused on all of that, and so it's nice and slow, and the demands don't feel as demandy from the regular parts of our lives, right? It's just this demand around the holidays, which in its own way is very nice for the autistic brain because we are having a little bit of monotropism as the world, right? We're sort of focused on one thing as the world, which is very nice. But as quickly as that comes around in December, it disappears in January, right? It's like the calendar turns to January 2nd and boom, that is over. That luxury is over and people rush. They feel it rush. You can feel it in their energy. They rush to return, right? To this really crazy busy obligations type lifestyle that we've created here in the United States. And it doesn't work for me. That lifestyle does not work for me. My life, and neither does December either, by the way. That lifestyle doesn't work for me either, but it's got to be a combination thereof. There has to be some way that we can combine those two energy levels, right? And so that's sort of what I was thinking about because instinctually, as a human animal, I feel the draw to hibernate at this time of year. I look outside in the world and it's beautiful and it's quiet, right? And it's still and it's slow and it's all of these beautiful things. And I want to be one with that. That is what my natural energy, right, wants to do as a human animal. It also wants to be slow with winter. But I'm forced, right, as a human animal living in a society, right, and in especially in this American society, right, where the rush back is innate, right, where hibernation isn't allowed, right, we're not really allowed that slowness of winter, that um we're allowed to really gather ourselves in that way, the way that the rest of the world does, and then comes back to life in a really big way when the world is ready for us, when everything out there matches that energy, right? So, hibernation, love hibernation. I'm a big hibernator. I love it. I could spend, I tell you, weeks, I think, alone, talking to nobody but my husband, right? Out of necessity, and that's it, right? And thinking otherwise about all the things that I'd rather think about, and reading and napping and going for walks and spending time with my animals and all of these other things, right? And drinking warm beverages and sitting in cozy corners and all of these things, right? That's what I want to do. And I love to do that, right? And that's hibernation. Here's the catch. I like hibernating so much that if I'm not careful, I will slip from hibernation to isolation. And I hope that rings true for some other people out there. It becomes so easy to be alone and without the other um, constrictors, I guess I want to say, of the outside world, right? Without the judgment of the outside world, without having to worry about wearing the right clothes, or have I done my hair properly to be out in the world, or do I know the directions where I'm going? Do I know how long it's going to take me to get there? All of these things, right? You get so comfortable in the hibernation of the lightness of it. Yes, Burnett, the solitude is so peaceful, right? That it becomes addictive in its own way, right? The idea of breaking that peaceful solitude to step out into the loud and ugly world feels crazy. And then all of a sudden, you've slipped from this healthy hibernation to this unhealthy isolation where you're protecting yourself so much, right, from that outside energy that you slip into loneliness, right? Into depression and into other states outside of the hibernation, right? So, hibernation is this great thing to give into, and it fills you up and it rejuvenates you and it relaxes you and it's all of these things, right? But there's a scary point that it can get to where we're no longer just hibernating, we're isolating, where we're saying, I don't want to go out there anymore. I just don't, you know what? It's so nice in here that I don't want to go out here anymore. Right. I don't want to do that. So is there a way for me to get around it? Are there ways that I can avoid going out there? And when we start saying that kind of stuff to ourselves, that we want to avoid going out there, right, at all costs sometimes, that is when we have slipped from hibernation to isolation. And that's what I was noticing this past week. Not even this, but really last week as I was living in it was that how hard it is to fight against the succumbing to isolation, right? To just being so addicted to that hibernation feeling that we succumb to isolation, right? And I think the closer we are to burnout at that time, the easier it is to slip into that isolation. So this weekend, guess who made themselves go outside? Me. Because I felt myself slipping, right? I was like, oh wow, as I'm writing this little journal entry and thinking about this, I am definitely, wait, I have stepped over the door frame and into isolation now. Right, where I was avoiding going outside, avoiding wanting to do things, avoiding dealing with people for and making excuses, right? Making excuses for why I shouldn't do that. So I did it. I went out. I try to go out. I make myself go out. Once a week is my must, right? Without once a week outside, I know I will hit depression. So that's like my mandatory once a week. But I went out a couple of times this weekend. And I had an errands day, which I'm sure we all do, where we went to the supermarket and we treated ourselves to a little bit of lunch outside in the world and did a few other little errands and stuff. And then the next day, had another few errands to do in the morning and a little bit of fun stuff. And I did that, right? But here's what I want to share with you about the whole journey was that here I was happily hibernating, right? Then I moved slowly and without almost noticing, addicted to that hibernation, slipped into that isolation, right? And then I was going to break it. I decided to break it. And in the breaking of it and forcing myself to go out there, guess what happened? You're never going to believe it. I found joy. I found a hidden joy, a secret joy, and more importantly, a forgotten joy. Wow. What Beck shared? Please tell. I will. Okay. Because it was a big deal to me that I spent so much of my life masking that I have forgotten a lot of the things that I enjoyed. I'd also kind of disengaged with what I liked and didn't like through that masking period. And my unmasking period over the last 10 years, I've recovered a lot of those joys. I've recovered and remembered and figured out things that I dislike for real as me and like for real as me, right? And in doing that, okay, oh, it's about to get loud. I sense, I feel, I worry that it's going to get loud. I think my husband might be home. But anyway, here we go. The whole thing is, we were out there, right? I was out there living, right? And doing and forcing myself to be out of this place of isolation. And guess what? In the runnings around, guess who remembered a giant thing? Guess who remembered that she loves car washes? What? Did you sit here on this Monday expecting me to tell you how much I love a car wash? It might be the most stereotypical autistic thing about me, but I remembered how much joy, sensory joy, pleasure, just little kid joy I get from going through a car wash, right? So much joy that I can't believe that I'm going to show this to you guys. But I took 2 videos while we were in the car wash because I was like, this is so much fun. I want to like relive the car wash. So look, I was taking car wash videos, right? Because it just is so cool to me that, right, we get to enjoy a car wash. Look at that. It was inside, I had doors on both sides, and the brushes were just so beautiful to watch, right? And so we just sat there and I laughed so much. I giggled so much in this little car wash with my husband. I was almost embarrassed. I don't know if he ever has seen me quite so happy about something. And I was happy not only because in the moment I was enjoying it, but I was also so happy to have been reminded of this little simple joy. How easy it would be for me on a day where I am tending towards isolation, where I'm feeling a little low, where I'm needing to go out in the world, right? What if I just hop in my car and go through a car wash randomly? Could change my entire day, my entire vibe, right? And what an easy, low cost, low spoon way to lift myself up a little. I see Burnett saying, thanks for the reminder. Are you a car wash person, Burnett? I am like All the car wash people, if you're out there, please share your videos with me. Please shout out in this at the comments to this video, wherever you're seeing it, that you are a car wash person. What are those small joys for you? Car washes are fun, Nancy. What are some things like that that you guys find this raw, pure autistic joy in? Um, oh, brunette man about leaving the house. Sorry, but he loves car washes too. And this is it, right? And I don't know how else to capture it. I don't know how else to yay for going for a car wash this week. Like all of us, I want everyone who's watching go for a car wash this week. Wherever you live, whatever's going on in your life, whatever is sort of, and if even if you don't drive, hop in a friend's car, hop in a family member's car and be like, let's just go on a car wash, right? Just remind yourself of those little pleasures, right? It doesn't have to be you driving. It can be anyone driving. You go as a group of friends, go 4 or 5 of you, hop into a car and go on a car wash. It was so much fun. It was such silly little fun. And you're in this box with all of these brushes and all of this noise, and nobody is there to judge you. Nobody is there watching you, nothing. It's this private moment. And so, yeah, I think I'm encouraging car washes this week. That is my new refound pleasure. And so, yeah, that was sort of my little turnaround for this week, and sort of the challenge that I wanted to share with you, this little takeover of moving from successful and healthy hibernation, right, to moving over into this little weird place of isolation, right, which is terrible. And how we get ourselves out. Look how simple it was, right? And I didn't even know what I was looking for. I didn't even know what I was going to try to get out of all of this. I didn't. Oh, you can hear Fiona's trying to leave because the hubby's home and she's got to go. But like, I didn't even plan it. I was just like, I know that I need to leave the house because this is what I need to do for myself, right? And by doing that, I found this little glimmer. There it was, just waiting for me out in the world, you guys. So cool. Anyway, that is going to be it. I want to leave you on that epic note for today and for this week on Growing Gratitude, because that's how it's done. My little Penny has come to visit me now. You can't see her. She's very little. And really, I think that's the thought I want to leave you with. And I'm going to remind you right now, as I'm sitting here, don't miss me every Monday on Growing Gratitude, but also sign up for my newsletter. Link is below. And also, most exciting of all of the things is that my Patreon is up and I'm building a community that is just for us. I am going to create us a little happy bubble where we can all hang out and talk about the things that are meaningful to us, talk about the things that are challenging to us, right? And also talk about the things that lighten our loads, right? Like car washes. And on that note, I say to you, it is time for my weekly reminder. When I say to you all, Growing Gratitude is here every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We are live. Come chat, all of those things. And until next Monday, I please remind you to take care of your meat suit, right? And pay attention to your head space, right? And of course, keep everything wide open, eyes, ears, nose, mouths, all of those things open to all the little glimmers out there, because we know the world is full of triggers. But when we find the glimmers, it keeps us wanting to wake up every day. And that's what it's all about. Go get a car wash. Talk to me about it out there. Leave me comments. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.